The total project entails the upgrading of the Dutch Quarter Main Road. This is the Dutch Quarter Main Road. For reference purposes here, the lower area here is the Belvedere area. This is the roundabout by the Delta Plus gas station. In the project upgrading of Dutch Quarter Main Road, as has been identified by the European Union for funding within the 10th EDF, to come into consideration for financing, the items as socially deprived areas has been identified, and Dutch Quarter has been one of these areas that has been identified as a socially deprived area. And when I say a socially deprived area, it entails an area whereas there are no provisions for sewage, there are no sewage in place, there's no drainage, no adequate street lights, sidewalks, sewage house connections, and so go on and on. The entire project entails the upgrading of the main road of Dutch Quarter, and also the eastern section of the Dutch Quarter Main Road, meaning driving down the Dutch Quarter Road, the section on the east, which is known from the section of Garden of Eden back up until Gibbs Drive and Richardson's Drive. Those are the areas that will be tackled. A total budget of some 6.1 million has been made available within this contract. For the works contract, it is a less amount, and the government of St. Maarten will be also co-financing on this project in the tune of some 1.3 million euro. Once completed, the project is not going to be completed in one shot. It's going to take a period of about 18 months to approximately some 24 months. So we will be seeing the area of Dutch Quarter being converted into one big construction pit. With the 9 EDF project, whereas the upgrading of Milleridgien took place, that was a project that took approximately some 2 years to be executed. And when as this project moves forward, we will be expecting the same upgrading modality would have taken place here, whereas proper sewage will be installed, drainage, street lights, all cables will be placed on the head, and the living conditions of those residents will also be significantly improved. I know as we go through the phasing of the project, it's a lengthy time, but I'm asking on the residents and all of those involved to also bear with us because of the financing element and of the EU being involved, that there are certain procedures that has to be followed in accordance to the EU guidelines. So, but all in all, it will be a great improvement of the area, and it is intention to, besides the funding from the European funds, to also continue with the upgrading of this area of Dutch Quarter, such as the adjacent roads, such as the Nazareth, and all those remaining dirt roads in the area. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Roland, for providing us with a project overview.
It's, let me start with, it's an honor for me to be here after almost 20 years, to be able to work again in St. Maarten. I was in the early 90s here for 2 years, and I'm happy to be here back to see that there have been many good developments, and that I can contribute also to this very important project. Ilaco itself, it's already more than 50 years operational. The mother company was working in many other countries in the world. We are slowly moving from agricultural, rural in the early 60s, 70s. Now we are doing urban development, water, environment, infrastructure, and planning. So I hope that as a company, with all the experience that we have, we can contribute to this very important project for the government.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pettington. I'd like to now ask the representative of the Dutch Quarter Community Council, Mr. Sidney Weaver, to address you.
Yes, good afternoon. As protocol has already been served. It's, like Kurt also indicated a moment ago, that there was a little discrepancy in terms of it is a continuation of a new project, but that has been cleared up, thankfully. I must say this project and the continuation of the project is one is very important for Dutch Quarter and its residents in particular. We have been too long in the Stone Ages, if we want to call it that, with the concerns to infrastructure development. And I'm very proud and glad to see that the government has now finally finalized what needs to be finalized for the financing of the project in order to for Dutch Water to move into the 21st century as such, with regards to the infrastructure and that type of thing. I do hope that going forward that the community council, the doors are open for the respective contractors and, as well as engineers and stuff like that, so we can put all the noses in the same direction with regards to the project and everything, and make sure that everything goes smoothly with regards to the inconvenience that may be caused in the future for the residents during this period of time.
Thank you very much, Mr. DeWeaver. And I'll ask the ambassador of the delegation of the European Union to Guyana, Suriname, Trinidad and Tobago, and the Dutch overseas countries and territories, Mr. Maarten-Dutch, to address.
Thank you. We are happy to be in St. Martin, and I've met the Prime Minister and we spoke about the name of St. Martin, where it came from, and so I got a bit into the history of the island. Very beautiful island. I'm happy that we're here to help you improve your infrastructure and of course in the same time to preserve the nature, so beautiful nature, and of course by improving the environment and the system of sewage, of course this helps to your tourism service as such. So I know it's a good project. It helps people live better, so the quality of life in St. Martin will improve, and everything else will improve to the better side. So I'm very happy to be part of such a project as the EU representative. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ambassador. Now I invite the Minister of Roaming, the Honorable Angela Myers, to address you.
Good evening, good afternoon, everyone. I want to thank the Ambassador. I want to thank you for partnering with St. Martin. It is this government's intention to improve the living conditions of its citizens within the different districts. The 9th EDF Middle Region Sewage Project is all but completed, which has improved the living conditions of the residents within the community of Middle Region. And now, after almost 2 years, a significant step in our joint effort is bearing fruit for the residents of Dutch Water. So I want to thank everyone here for their contribution in making this a success. I want to thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Myers. Our final speaker this afternoon, I'd like to invite the Prime Minister, the Honorable William Marlin, to address you.
Thank you, Cedric. When Kurt spoke a few moments ago, he said that I signed off. There was a slight correction. In 2013, when we signed actually on the property of the DeWeaver family, I think that's where we had the signing ceremony at the time, the Prime Minister then, Mrs. Westcott Williams, signed on behalf of St. Martin, and I spoke at the time in my capacity as Minister of Vrooming. History has it that, going on 3 years later, I am back this time now to sign the contract with the company that has been selected to do the supervision of it. Usually, when we have a project of this nature going on in St. Martin, whenever you have a signing, shortly thereafter you would have a groundbreaking and the project would commence. But because of the procedures within the EU funding, we are now at another stage of the project, but hopefully one that will now, we can make, again, solid commitments to the people of Dutch Water and the surrounding areas. And not only to the people of Dutch Water, I think to the people of St. Martin in general, because the Dutch Water main road is one that is used to connect French and Dutch St. Martin through the direction of French Water. And there are thousands of people who use that road on a daily basis. But when we usually speak about poverty in a district or poverty in general, people tend to measure poverty by the wealth of the citizens. if people are poor. One can be of a middle income standard, but live in an impoverished environment, in a poor environment, in a poor society. And the Dutch Quarter area, because of all kinds of reasons over the years, just like many other areas in St. Martin, has been inundated with running sewage water, not just on the main roads, but in some of the areas in Dutch Quarter, the sewage water running on the streets, running in roads, create not only a poor environment to live in, but certainly not a healthy one to raise young children. Adults can easily avoid and evade it, but children have that desire to play outside, to run outside, to be outside, and don't know the danger of picking something that fell and putting it back into their mouths, etc. So we are happy, truly happy, that we have cleared another hurdle in this. And when I was told that, you know, we are moving on with this, I said, I hope the people of Dutch Quarter don't think it's, you know, an election gimmick or a political stunt, but you can clearly see from who are here that it is not just the local government that organized something. We certainly would not be able to mobilize such important people. The ambassador, we are very grateful for you taking time out and gracing us with your presence here, and all the others, Mr. Ravindra, who represents the company that has won the bid. We are extremely happy, and won the bid not to construct. The bid is for the supervision of the project, selecting, putting the terms of reference for the work scope that needs to be carried out, and bidding on actually doing the work. That is what his company will be supervising, rather than the contractor. So this is not the contractor. We have to go to that phase. We are now in the middle of February, first half of February, and people might think that by signing here today, that in the next 2 to 3 months, we will see the tractors running all through Dutch Quarter and ripping up the roads and putting in the lines. That will not happen. So it might not be before the last quarter of 2016 that we will actually have a contract that is awarded for the physical work to begin. So while the Minister of Romy has secured that on the capital budget for 2016, the funds will be allocated as far as the St. Martin contribution to this project is concerned, the realization of the project will not take place, most likely not before December, November, December of 2016, and most of the work then done in the following year. But we had to secure the funding for it in the budget this year, and as I said, this is moving it to the next level by signing of the supervision contract, and then we hope that soon the documents will be ready to tender the works, and that we will be able to, after reviewing the bids, sign the contract for the work to be carried out. So Minister of Romy, congrats with this milestone, congrats with this stage that we are at, and I want to publicly on behalf of the government and people of St. Martin thank the European Union through its ambassador here today for their confidence in St. Martin and for providing additional funding for us to be able to realize this important project for the community in St. Martin. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prime Minister. I'll go over to the official signing of the contract this afternoon. So probably so you can go ahead and lead us in that.
But we have three copies. It is the service contract, and the contract title is Construction Supervision Infrastructure Upgrade Dutch Quarter, St. Maarten. The contract number is 2015-369-497, and the financing is done through the 10th EDF and Government of St. Maarten. And the contracting authority is, of course, the Government of St. Maarten. And the persons signing here this afternoon is on behalf of the contractor, Mr. Maarten-Dutch Ravindra. He is the managing director of the company. For the European Union, the ambassador will be signing, and for the contracting authority, the Minister of General Affairs will be signing. For those of you who have keenly followed the events over the past couple of weeks, you would say, well, hey, Minister, did you sign something like that to that effect? Indeed, yes, we did, so we don't want to be told that we have been misleading the public, but what we have today is what we refer to as a mock signing, as in order to get the work speed up. We each signed individually, and via FedEx, documents were forwarded, but we wanted to have that mock signing today so that that can be properly recorded, as well for the funding agents, the European Union, for the contractor, but also for the people in government of St. Maarten. This is a historic moment that we are signing this document. So without further ado, the mock signing can take place. So for those on camera who would like to see the signing, I will go over my signature once again. That was there from the 28th of January.